Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you how to make money by buying a business. So there's lots of videos out there, obviously on YouTube. A lot of them will teach you how to start a business from scratch or how to grow an existing business by doing more sales, marketing, optimizing operations. Today I want to share with you a different perspective if you're new to this channel, which is the idea of going out there and buying an existing business that's already profitable, already have revenues, already have team of employees, customers, track record. And many times those businesses already exist for 5, 10 plus years. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Moran Pober. I'm the founder and CEO of acquisitions.com. We're right now the largest community of M&A investors and entrepreneurs. And this year we're also looking to invest in acquisitions ourselves. We were involved in 100 plus deals in the last 3 years. So I'm gonna really try to simplify the process for you. So whoever you are, you could get started with this. I don't care what's your background. We helped people who used to play music for a living to buy businesses that are already profitable, already have revenues. And I'm going to share with you some of the steps they had to go through for them to do the same. I was involved in deals almost 15 years ago now, and I want to share with you things that could help you as well in the process, so you won't make the same mistakes and have the same struggles that I went through. So I'm going to share my screen right now and share with you some of those things. So first things you want to focus on is your deal positioning, right? So what that means, you could call it your acquisition thesis, your investment thesis, but basically it comes down to the idea of, okay, what kind of company you're going to buy, what's the sector, right? So let's talk about it, right? What's the sector? You want to think about that. Do you want a website, right? Ideally, you want a website or at least some kind of a domain name email so you could reach out to people and so people will take you seriously. Right? You might want to think about things like pitch deck. Pitch deck is an opportunity for you to pitch yourself, to pitch your team, to pitch potential investors, to present to business owners you're looking to buy, and to basically sell your idea of what you're looking to build. And it can be just you buying one company, or it can be you doing a roll-up, which is going out there and buying dozens of companies or more in the same sector, right? So I would summarize that by saying this is some kind of an online brand, right, or positioning. So that's kind of like the beginning, right? You want to have that covered, you want to have that in mind, you want to have obviously some kind of a vision in place of understanding who are you, what do you want to achieve, where do you want to be in 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now, if it's professionally, if it's financially, and understanding what business you need to buy in order to get there. Let's move to the next step you want to keep in mind, right, which is the deal team. And when I'm saying deal team, I'm talking, okay, who do you need on your team? Do you need a board? Who's going to be the CEO? Is it going to be you, or are you going to hire someone else from the cash flow of the business? You need to understand things like compensation. Yeah, easier said than done to write and talk at the same time, right? So things like compensation schedule. You want to know who are your advisors that you might need in your team, who are potentially lawyers and accountants to help you with the process. And again, a lot of that work you can do yourself if you know how. Otherwise, you'll need probably people to help you that you could either pay with money or equity. Now, and as I go through those things, I might also introduce some case studies and stories of people who went through the same process, but didn't necessarily need to have all of those things because they learned how to do those things themselves. So for example, obviously picking the sector, yes, you can go through some work and understanding of what's the best sector for you, or you can just pick one. Right? Website, you can go out there and find people to help you, or you can just pick one, build one, simple one, or you can just figure it out with just literally just a domain name and a good email. And I can share with you in a second if you want a story about the guy that we helped, Borislav. And I'm thinking about two guys, Borislav and Leo, who came to us. One of them is a truck driver. One of them used to play music for a living. And they were able to buy multi-million dollar businesses with this process. So if you want, I'll share with you a bit more about them, or just let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure that I'm making more videos about those stories. Let's move to the next step right now, which is understanding anything in regards to deal structures, right? Or you can also include analysis. Also, by the way, if you want the copy of all those notes I'm going to write down, comment below notes with your emails and we could reach out to you, or with your Facebook ID and we'll just message you. I'll tell one of my team members to reach out with those notes. So when it comes to deal structures, you want to understand, again, some deal structures if it's other people's money. So let's call it just OPM strategies, right? Structures. A lot of you probably heard about things like earnouts or seller financing. We have dozens of those structures to find how to get access to money. Right now, you can start using those. Then obviously you want to start to make offers, right? So understanding what is a good deal, what is a good offer, and making offers on those deals. Then of course negotiations is part of that as well. And ideally you're using some kind of a proven script or template to do that. Next step, assuming you went through this, now you want to understand, okay, how are you going to finance? And I might get to that in a second, but people then ask me, okay, when do I even make money when I buy a business? Well, here's the thing. As soon as you buy the business, you're the owner. You can take money as the owner of the business, right? But there's also steps where you can take money as you close the deal. So that's why I want to share that in deal financing. So for example, the main ones are debt, equity. You can have mezzanine as well. So let's just call it mezz. But each of those like have dozens of ways on where to find those. Right? So you want to think, okay, where do I find that money? And if you find enough money, you can also take money at closing as you close the deal. If you raised enough money to operate the business, you can take money as a bonus for yourself and your team. Of course, as you own the business and run the business, you can take yourself some kind of a dividend or income. And of course, if and when you sell the business, that's where you can get a nice chunk of money as well as the owner of the business. Next thing you want to understand and go through is your deal terms, right? So things like, okay, what clauses you have to protect yourself, right? Obviously you want to do due diligence. If it's financial due diligence, legal, right? Or just understanding the business overall due diligence. So that's the deal terms. Let's talk a little bit about deal integration. So assuming you bought the business, well, now you want to make sure that you're not destroying whatever the previous owner built, right? And some of those businesses, I'm telling you, are amazing businesses that you won't need to do much. So you literally just need to let go and let someone else run it for you, or just let whoever is in the business continue to do their thing without you interrupting too much. But at this point, you can take a look at things like sales, like marketing, right? Like operations, like finance, like people, and making sure that everyone is aligned and there's no cultural issue. Because most M&A failures and roll-up failures are because of cultural issues, right? IT, do you have IT that is good enough to scale? Do you have processes for HR? Do you have a clear vision, values, and everyone in your company are working towards that? Do you understand your expansion opportunities, right? What about modeling or creating budgeting modeling, right? And just creating reports and understanding. If you have an existing business, do you understand things like synergies and how you can save costs or create upsides by connecting between your business and the acquisition? Next step is everything deal exits. So like I said, probably the best way to make a lot of money is to exit the company because you can make multiples of profits. So with deal exit, you want to understand things like your timing, when to exit it, what's the best time to exit it to make the most out of it. And you want to create some kind of a pre-diligence, I like to call it pre-diligence process, right? To make sure you're preparing everything and everything is clear towards the sale. Obviously, positioning is here as well. You want to identify buyers, so you want to have that in your process. And that can be, I won't write it down right now, but it can be individual, it can be private equity, I won't write the full thing, or it can be strategic, or it can be IPO. All those are type of exits that you can prepare yourself to. Do you have some kind of information memorandum, employee agreements, understanding valuations, negotiations here as well? Ideally getting some kind of a bidding war. So you don't have just one potential exit, but you have a few of those, right? Do you understand things like price and terms? Right? So yes, you can ask for $1 million for your business or 10 or 100, but the question is, when are you getting paid for that 100 million? Is it right away in cash, or are you going to spread it over as many years as the buyer wants? I would also like to add to the deal exit something I call deal organization or reorganization. So for you to sell for the highest price, you want to really optimize everything, right? So things like, again, vision, values, and making sure everyone is aligned in your company. What are your goals? Do you understand things like your org chart and making sure that there's no redundancies, that the business is not dependent on one person? Do you know how to build a team, right? So team building, culture alignment. Do you understand your breakpoints? So I can tell you at this point, we were able to grow and help companies grow up to 200 million a year in revenues, and that's in less than a year or two. So we really saw every breakpoints that you're going to have in the process of scaling. Because the last thing you want to do as you buy businesses is buy one business, keep it a mess, and then buy 10 more businesses. All you're going to end up is 10 messy businesses. Do you understand your multiples, your industry multiples? Do you understand your competitors, right? So those are some of the steps, guys. Again, you want to buy a business, you want to make sure you have all of those things aligned. Your sector, your website, your pitch deck, your online brand, your vision, your board, your CEO, compensation, advisors. And actually, I missed something here, which is deal flow, right? So what is your process to find those deals? Do you have a process to find those deals? If it's off market or on market, right? Off market is basically going direct to the owner. Off market is usually brokers. Then after you have deals, you need to structure it, ideally using other people's money or looking for ROI for yourself if it's your money. Obviously, you can use yours, right, when financing. You need to then agree on terms, do your financial and legal due diligence, and then integrate everything if it's sales, marketing, operations, etc. prepare for an exit or continue to grow it with more deals, more acquisitions by doing reorganization and making sure that the scale is very robust and everything is aligned and in the right place as you try to grow and scale. So with that being said, back to the guys that I mentioned. So Borislav and Leo that I have in mind, they bought businesses. One of them bought a trucking company doing 13 million a year. Leo bought a multi-million-dollar healthcare business while living in Ukraine and being originally from Nigeria. So imagine if a guy like that was able to do that. And he told me he used to call companies and people thought he's like the Nigerian scam, but he bought a multi-million-dollar business, and we have a full interview with him going through the process. You could probably go to our websites to see that. Either way, I hope it opened your mind to the fact that you can buy an existing business, what the process would look like, what you need to master and learn. And as you master and learn those things, that can take you a while, but if you do, you can buy great businesses, and one deal alone can really change your life and make you financially free. And then it's your decision. Do you want to take a step back, have a great lifestyle, or do you want to continue and grow by acquisitions and build the biggest business you can? So with that being said, and if you do want to be that person who continue to build and buy businesses, we would love to invest in you if you are part of our community and buy great businesses. With that being said, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Like, subscribe, and all that if you didn't yet, and I'll see you soon.